So we use the product rule in case if we have two functions multiplied by each other and we want to take the derivative, and that gonna be equal to the first derivative of the first function multiplied by the second, and then plus the first function multiplied by the derivative of the second. So here we have an example, x squared multiplied by ex. So we have two functions multiplied to each other. So we know that since we have a multiple of two functions, we will use the product rule. So if we assume that h of x is the whole function we are giving, then we will apply the product rule. But first, let's figure out what is f of x and g of x. So two parts, f of x will be x squared and g of x will be e to the x. Now we can apply the product rule. We just plug these numbers and we can see we don't write f of x, we write just f, just a shorthand. So we take first the derivative of the first function, I'm gonna be 2x using the power rule, and then the derivative of the second function will be the same, e of x. Now we apply the product rule. So we just apply the f prime and then multiply by g, and then the function f multiplied by derivative of g. And now we just factor e of x. This is the second problem. Again, we can see this is two functions multiplied by each other. So we'll use the product rule. Here we can see that I already assigned what is f of x and g of x. So if we assume the whole function is h of x and we want to find h prime of x. So first, f of x will be the first part of the function, and we find that its derivative was using the power rule, and then we will take g of x, the second part of the function, and we find its derivative, which is the same in this case. Now we can apply the product rule, which states that the first derivative of the first function multiplied by g, and second derivative, the first derivative of g multiplied by function f. Now we just plug these results in. Now what we can do is we factor the ex term, and then we can simplify more. And that will be our resulting derivative. So here we want to use the product rule for this function. In order to use the product rule, we need to rewrite this function. So if we assume the function given is h of x, then we can rewrite it as e to the x and then x to the negative 2. So we can use the product rule. Now we can see that now it's clearly that these are two functions multiplied by each other, which allow us to use the product rule. So the product rules always start writing the product rule, and now what we want to find is these f prime, g prime, f, and g. So f of x will be x to the negative 2, and its derivative will be using the power rule, and then g of x is ex, and we will use the exponential derivative to find the derivative. Now we just plug these values into here. Here what we can do is we can factor the EX term. And this also can be written as this way.